let me introduce you to a lawyer, a patriot, a businessman, a congressman, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, a poet, an artist, an inventor, a distinguished civil servant, a designer of our first American flag, a musician and a composer. He was indeed a Renaissance man, a jack of all trades. Perhaps you are thinking of Benjamin Franklin, a close friend of his. His name is Francis Hopkinson. Francis Hopkinson was born on October 2nd, 1737 in Philadelphia. He graduated at 19 from what is now the University of Philadelphia. He had the distinction to be the first student to enroll and graduate from what was then the Academy of Philadelphia. In 1759, Hopkinson became the first Native American to write a secular American composition. His music reflected his own suave urban style. "My days have been so wondrous free" was the first of many that made him one of this country's most popular new composers. This is the piece you've been listening to. "My days have been so wondrous free" was written by 21-year-old Hopkinson. The lyrics are derived from a poem called Love and Innocence by the 17th century Irish poet Thomas Parnell. The ballad is less than 1.5 minutes long and rooted in pastoral imagery, with the singer reflecting on his blessed state in terms of birds, streams, and breathing gales. In a letter to his wife Abigail, John Adams wrote of Hopkinson, "He is one of your pretty little curious, ingenious men. I have not met with anything in natural history more amusing and entertaining than his personal appearance. Yet he is gentle and well-bred, and is very social." In the next few years, he earned his M.A., practiced law, became the secretary to the Pennsylvania India Commission, a customs collector in Salem, New Jersey, and then again in Newcastle, Delaware. 1 year later, he became a librarian and translated the Dutch Psalter, then became a member of the Indian Treaty Commission. It was about this time that he developed a friendship with Benjamin Franklin, even visiting him in London in 1766. Franklin referred to him as a man that was very ingenious and of good morals and obliging disposition. Upon returning from London, Francis opened a dry goods store where he met his soon-to-be wife, Anne Borden of Bordentown, New Jersey. They were married on September 1st, 1768, and had 5 children. In 1772, he was an organist at Christ Church in Philadelphia and played the harpsichord in public concerts. During all this, he wrote very popular patriotic ballads that expressed his faith in our new nation. In 1776, he was chosen to represent the state of New Jersey as a delegate in the Second Continental Congress, where he signed the Declaration of Independence. Later, he left Congress to serve on the Continental Congress Navy Board, and while serving, he is claimed to have designed our first official flag, the Stars and Stripes. Early in 1778, the American Army sent a number of wooden kegs filled with gunpowder into the Delaware River, where several British ships were anchored. These were designed to explode on contact. It was surprising to behold the incessant blaze that was kept up against the enemy, the kegs. To commemorate this event, Francis Hopkinson wrote the Battle of the Kegs, traditionally sung to the tune Yankee Doodle. An excerpt from Hopkinson's lyrics, "Since wars began, I'm sure no man e'er saw so strange a battle. The kegs, 'tis said, those strongly made of rebel stays and hoops, sir, could not oppose their powerful foes, the conquering British troops, sir. After writing the Battle of the Kegs, Hopkinson sent a bill to the Board of Admiralty and Treasury for payment for his work on the flag design. He requested a payment of a quarter cask of public wine. The bill finally ended up in committee and was never paid. In 1781, he wrote and produced the first American opera, Temple of Minerva, which was a flop. In 1788, he wrote a book of music titled 7 Songs. This book was a collection that was dedicated to his friend George Washington. I have accordingly taken advantage of it, the writing of these 7 songs, by presenting this work to your patronage and honoring it with your name. However small the reputation may be that I shall derive from this work, I cannot, I believe, be refused the credit of being the first native of the United States who has produced a musical composition. If this attempt should not be too severely treated, others may be encouraged to venture on a path yet untrodden in America, and the arts in succession will take root and flourish among us. After receiving the collection and letter, George Washington sent Francis Hopkinson a reply. My dear sir, I can neither sing one of the songs nor raise a note on any instrument to convince the unbelieving. But I have, however, one argument which will prevail with persons of true estate, at least in America. I can tell them that this is the production of Mr. Hopkinson.